Welcome to Liver Live. This is the YouTube channel that will bring Liverpool fans the latest news of the club in our hearts. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me. Odds BK have accepted 2 bids for goalkeeper Leopold Wallstedt. After claims Liverpool were in for him, it was back in April that the Reds were claimed to be keeping a close eye on the 24-year-old as a potential replacement for Kevin Kelleher. However, with Kelleher looking like staying put, nothing has ever gone any further, but according to Sky Sports, that doesn't mean Wallstedt won't be on the move this summer. The Swede may yet even find himself in English football after all. That's because Odds BK have reportedly given the green light to an offer from Blackburn Rovers for Wallstedt. The player is said to be tempted by the move to England, albeit to the Championship. He could yet end up staying in Scandinavia, though. The Sweden Internationals club are also said to have accepted a bid from Danish side Brøndby. It's now up to Wallstedt to decide. Clearly, this is now no longer a transfer story in which Liverpool are an active participant. Given the clubs involved, it also throws doubt into whether Wallstedt would have been good enough to replace Kelleher. The Irishman has been hailed as an outstanding goalkeeper by Jurgen Klopp and has already underlined that during the current pre-season, with offers seemingly not forthcoming for Kelleher, he now looks likely to be at Anfield next season. In all likelihood, that only delays the need to look for a successor to the Corkman, though. He'll be 25 this time next year and deserves to call himself a number 1 somewhere. As a result, it's possible that Liverpool will keep track of where Wallstedt is and how he's doing. Should he decide to join Blackburn, that may end up actually doing the Reds a slight favour, as seen by their loaning of Harvey Elliott, Leighton Clarkson, and Tyler Morton in recent years. Liverpool have a good relationship with Rovers. If Wallstedt goes to Ewood Park and does well, he might be one to keep an eye on in 12 months' time. Michael Edwards got a controversial $46 million Liverpool transfer right and Southampton just proved it. Jurgen Klopp had a crisis on his hands in the winter of 2021. Liverpool had suffered season-ending injuries to every one of its central defenders, with Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, and Joel Matip picking up serious knocks as the Reds battle to win the Premier League for a second year in a row. When the January transfer window opened halfway through the campaign, Liverpool sat at the top of the table but, to the surprise of many supporters, failed to act. Michael Edwards, who was sporting director at the time, controversially refrained from acquiring the services of an established centre-back. A late bid was made for Juge Koletkar, who was contracted to Marseille at the time, but the French club pulled out of a deal due to the lack of time afforded to sign a capable replacement, as per Sky Sports. The Croatian defender was regarded as a promising talent back then, and he's since opened up about the story behind his link to Anfield. It happened really fast, he told Hampshire Live in 2022. You know, they get a lot of injured players, central defenders, so my agent called me and said Liverpool is there. They are something different and I wanted to join them because Liverpool is one of the biggest clubs in the world. But it didn't happen. There was something between Marseille and Liverpool, but I don't want to go into what happened. The Reds had a glaring transfer need that Klopp was suffering from on Merseyside. The German coach was having to field Fabinho and Jordan Henderson in the heart of his defensive line, which is why the large majority of supporters expected additions to be made, especially with a potential title on the horizon. Liverpool failed to commit to any legitimate target in the winter window and ended up finishing 3rd in the table, some 17 points behind Manchester City at the summit, after loaning youngster Ozan Kabak from Schalke, who is now representing Hoffenheim on a regular basis. Once the campaign ended, Liverpool finally moved in the market and landed the signature of a certain Ibrahima Konate after triggering his $46 million, £36m, €42m, release clause, via Sky Sports. He joined Liverpool from RB Leipzig after the Bundesliga club refused to part ways with him in the middle of the previous season, which is why Edwards was forced to wait. The Reds could have sourced an alternative to him, such as Koletkar, but then Konate would have never arrived at Anfield. Now aged 24, the Frenchman is regarded as one of the most capable defenders in the world, and he looks set to start next to Van Dijk in the upcoming season. Now aged 26, Koletkar has just moved once again, signing for Lyon on a season-long loan deal after the Saints got relegated from the Premier League last term. According to transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, the French club has the option to make the deal permanent for as little as $5.5 million, £4m, €5m, which truly captures his decline in recent times. If Edwards hadn't been patient, Liverpool could have easily ended up with him as the Reds panicked to sign a centre-back to win the Premier League in 2021. With Konate tied down at Anfield, Klopp is very much set for the future. Overall, although the disputed transfer decision made the headlines at the time, it has been largely justified since, and Kaletakar's move to Lyon only reinforces that. Huge update on Romeo Lavia to Liverpool. The story dominating the Liverpool rumour mill right now is whether the Reds will finally agree terms with Southampton over Romeo Lavia. Jurgen Klopp and his side are determined to add the 19-year-old to the ranks as they scramble to fill the vacant number 6 role. Following the departures of Jordan Henderson and Fabinho, Liverpool have now tabled multiple offers to try and convince the Saints into selling Lavia, but every report continues to repeat the same information: they want a minimum of £50 million. However, a recent update from transfer reporter Dean Jones could give Reds fans a glimmer of hope amid this back and forth conversation about money. Speaking on the Ranks FC Ultras podcast, via the Boot Room, Jones claimed Southampton could well accept less than their firm asking price for Lavia. They, Liverpool, have gone back in with an improved offer. My understanding is that Saints want a guarantee of £40 million and then add-ons. People will say, hang on, that's not right, everything I'm reading says £50 million and upwards. That's true too, because they have a public stance and a public indication. That is fine, that often happens. They need to get as much money as they can for this player. But from conversations I've had with people, I think he will go for under £50 million still. We all have different sources and different understandings of the situation. Southampton have knocked Liverpool's offers back, but the Reds are eager to get a deal over the line. However, Saints manager Russell Martin has said he expects the midfielder to play in their championship opener against Sheffield Wednesday on Friday night. Lavia is just as eager to pursue a new challenge though, so surely Southampton will accept an offer soon, especially if the recent update on their stance proves to be true. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain considering offer to join Besiktas. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is reportedly considering an offer to join Turkish side Besiktas. The midfielder, whose Liverpool contract expired earlier this summer, has been given the chance to take a 2-year deal with the option of a third. It comes as the Turkish giants are also hoping to take Nicolas Pepe off Arsenal's hands, with the forward having returned from his loan at Nice. Oxlade-Chamberlain also has Saudi clubs in pursuit of his signature, as reported by BBC Sport. The move would allow the 29-year-old the opportunity to play for a team chasing silverware and continental football. Besiktas are currently in the qualifying stages for the Europa Conference League. After a promising start to his career at Southampton and Arsenal, Oxlade-Chamberlain made a £35 million move to Liverpool in 2017, despite flashes of brilliance, including a screamer against Manchester City in the 2018 Champions League quarter-finals. Persistent injuries dogged his time with the Reds. He only managed 2 appearances in the entire 2018-19 season due to a cruciate ligament rupture which saw him sidelined for almost a year, and last season he only made 13 appearances after a hamstring injury and falling out of favour. On the international stage, he has appeared 35 times for England and scored 7 goals, but his last cap was in 2019. And that's the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me.